Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody watching. Welcome to our episode number 18 already of our weekly series, What's Your Spark? And today I'm here with Tafadzwa Bete Sasa from Lusaka, Zambia. Well, welcome to the show, Taffy. It's been too long since we last talked.
Thank you so much for having me, Regina. I'm honored to be here.
Yes, and I'm so glad that we could both make it at the same time today. I look very much forward to our conversation. So I'm tuning in from Colorado today, my dear people, and those who have heard me before, have seen me before, and who know me. You also know that my business is based in New York City, but I'm also a passionate nomad. And I'm currently nomading around in the US for now in several states, just coming over from Texas this past Monday to Colorado and off to my next destination next Tuesday, which is why next Tuesday I won't be able to do a show here, but we'll have another one in 2 weeks. Now, before we hear more from Taffy and her amazing spark, and I've known her for a while now, I know she's really awesome. Please, everyone watching, hit that like button, share your comments and questions in the comment section, even if you watch this after the fact and on the recording. And even if you're not catching us live, it's fine. We are still going to go back and look at your comments and reply to you. And you can ask your questions as well. We'll check on them later. This series is for anyone who loves to be inspired by other women all around the world who are contributing their insights, their inspiration, their creativity, their wisdom, their knowledge, and their stories. Because we all know that as we open up our minds to fresh perspectives, as we hear other people's ideas, we also open up new possibilities for ourselves. So through these interviews, my intention is it to for us all to grow with and from each other and to be inspired to find our own spark and utilize it too, and really dig deep with it, go very deep into our potential, which is, by the way, completely unlimited. Because I guess you also want to live a more fulfilled life, a more passionate and purpose driven life, like me. And if you are meant to, and if you are here on this earth, then you are meant to sparkle with your brilliance. That's what you came for. Doesn't matter whether you're an employee, an entrepreneur, business owner, artist, whoever you are in your role. Yes. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to Tafadzwa Bete Sasa. Hi, Taffy again. I can't wait to ask you my questions. Yeah.
You ask good
And
questions, so I'm excited.
great. Yeah, for our viewers, I met Taffy several years ago, and if I recall the correct sequence of how we met Taffy, then I believe I contacted you on LinkedIn after seeing your face on the Toastmasters magazine on the front
Yeah,
page.
that's what it was.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, oh my God, you were featured on the front page. Yes. And you later also introduced me to Mabuli Day when I was in Ghana, and I had the pleasure
Yeah.
to meet him too. I think that was probably in 2017. I have to look it up. It must have been. Anyway, uh, so Taffy, as I call her, or Tafadzwa, is the head of team building and alignment at Training Leaders Consortium in Lusaka, where she aligns teams for cohesive collaboration and consistent high performance. That is a mouthful, and I know she wouldn't put it on if that were not the case, right? So, am I right, Taffy?
You are definitely right.
I know you a bit. So yeah. So also check out Taffy's LinkedIn profile. It's Tafadzwa with a Z, Bete Sasa, and do that after our show. For now, listen in and listen to what she has to share. As always, Taffy, my first question is, what's your spark? Because I see you so ready to shine your brilliance and your spark out to the world. Share with us.
It's been evolving. a lot, particularly over the last few years. But
Mm-hmm.
I think at this moment, I would narrow it down to my spark is helping people to manage their time, money, and energy to achieve their goals and live the life that they really, really want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Earlier on in my career, that was a lot focused on the individual,
Mm-hmm.
helping people excel professionally. I think that that's how I've been thinking about it. But over time, I've realized that actually it's more helping people live the other areas of their life, right? Because for a lot of our careers, there are a lot of structures in place, right,
Mm-hmm.
that guide our career progression and guide our career growth. You go to school, you go to university, you get a job, you start at entry level, they promote you until you end up wherever you are at. And so, in a way, professional career growth there has structures. But when you think about it, that's just about the only area of our lives that has structures and somebody else really, following you up to make sure you're doing the right thing and if need be rewarding you or punishing you around it. And so over time, my passion has grown a lot more for individuals, a lot more towards how's the rest of your life? How can we manage your time, money, and energy to make sure that the rest of your life, your finances, your relationship, your mental health, your physical health, are in a good space.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but then professionally, like you said, I now work more and more with teams because I just finished my MBA this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it with the African Leadership University School of Business. And one of the big things that stood out for me during the program was just the realization that it's great to have high performing individuals, but the thing that's going to take our continent to the next level is high performing teams and high performing organizations. So now I'm more and more focused on how do I help teams and organizations create high performance cultures.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, and as you said, those other structures, they're predefined by other people and they're not always right for us. So we need to find our own structures. We
Yeah,
need to determine our own structures. It's not for everybody to go to college, to whatever. There's so many other options, and
yeah,
it shouldn't be our only option, or we shouldn't be made to think that this is our only best option, right? We have
absolutely.
so many other options, and education is so to call it something with a euphemism, streamlined. And I think it doesn't really sometimes allow us to uncover our own brilliance and our own spark, and that's why we're here today to talk about this. Also, I wanted to challenge you a little bit on the term time management. I always say you cannot manage time, you can only manage priorities. Time is just there, and we cannot do anything with it. We can just really do something within it. And as you said, you can manage your money, you can manage your resources, you can manage people, you can lead people within that management, and of course you can manage your priorities and your activities within time. But I'm going to challenge you a little bit to think about this, because we're so used to using this term because it was given to us by somebody in the past.
Mm,
But let's just rethink that a little bit, because I have found that people get really easily frustrated when they try to manage time because they don't really know how that's supposed to work. Now when we go and
oh,
look at our activities and our priorities and see, okay, how do we prioritize? Then it starts to make more sense.
yeah,
And yeah, and then, sorry. And then another term I never use is work-life balance, because first of all, work is part of life. And second, there's never going to be balance. It's always about priorities, right? So I just, I know I can have this conversation with you, and it's a really good conversation. I think we always want to have those. And
right.
yeah,
So
I'm just very language focused. Go ahead.
right, no. So the thing that I was actually going to say is more and
Yeah.
more, I basically use the idea of managing time, money, and energy because that's what people know. That's what people understand.
Yeah.
That's what people know. Like when people think of I'm struggling and I'm not being productive,
Mhm.
people hardly ever have the awareness around, oh, it's because maybe I'm not managing my energy well or I'm not managing my
Right.
focus well, right?
Absolutely.
So hence my referring to that. But
Yeah.
once I actually start working with individuals in my one-on-one coaching or even with teams, the conversation then becomes, how do you manage your focus? Because
Yeah.
I think in this generation and the time that we're
Mm.
living, it's more about managing your own focus. Like, what do I want to pay attention to and work on until I get it done? So I do agree with you. I just use that term because that's what people are more familiar with and people are more
Yeah.
likely to realize.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe we can together change this because I actually love your concept of focus and energy. I talk a lot about energy. Everything is energy. We are energy. We don't pay enough attention to energy and how we
Mm,
use it, but also the quality of our energy, not just the
yeah,
amount, but also the quality. So I talk a lot about that in business presence. It's part of my coaching framework, my signature coaching framework, powerful leadership
mm,
transformation, right? It plays into the body and energy conscious presence that I talk a lot about, but also into the action. How, what energy do we fuel or feed our actions with?
yeah,
And so I talk about inspired and effective action. And I often say inspired and effective action is also focused action, as you just said. So,
yeah.
I think we would make a great training team together.
You know what? Let's put something on our calendars and discuss it. I
Yeah.
definitely think we could create something great together. We
Yeah,
could.
absolutely, absolutely. And do you know, I also am collaborating with this with UNICAF in Zambia. Have you seen those
Oh,
webinars? Yeah, I have been webinars this year, six by now total, with UNICAF Zambia as well as Cold or Olden. It's two organizations in one in UAE, and the founder of that is from Zimbabwe. So we've been
all
doing
right.
those webinars. They're also on my YouTube channel, Regina Huber, so you can find them there. I
I
was
will.
not on the last one, so I was only accompanying the last one. But we have had two different series, and the most recent one was Humanizing the Workplace. And that's a topic that I talk a lot about. So I suggested it, and we picked it up, and we had some awesome conversations. Yeah,
Mm,
check it out. And
I
yeah,
will.
definitely, I'm going to, after the show, we'll schedule something for sure. That would be so lovely. Okay. All right. So let's go on with the questions, dear. So, how did you find your spark?
Oh, that's a good one. Because I think there was a series of things
Hmm.
that led to it.
Hmm.
Right from the start, I think my investment into personal development came from personal frustration in my early
Hmm.
20s, when I was much younger and I was in my early 20s.
You're
I
still you still are very young and look very young, for sure. But I know you have a lot of maturity. I know you. Okay, go ahead.
so,
Sorry.
so it was really just a feeling that I was busy, I was making and spending money, I was living 24 hours every single
Hmm.
day doing
Hmm.
things, but not getting the results that I wanted. Like, there would always be something outstanding from the to-do list. There would
Hmm.
always be something outstanding from, the New Year's resolutions or the list of goals. And so I then invested into understanding, what am I missing? Because
Hmm.
I could see some people who were getting things done. And so I figured out there is something that I'm missing and I need to find out what it is. So that was sort of like a phase that triggered it. But over the years, the evolution of my work, because when I started, it was knowing that there was something that I don't know, which I need to know.
Hmm.
My very first job was interning at a bank, and I was in their human resource department, and I had the opportunity to work with a training team, and being able to see people who were struggling with performance being sent to trainings, acquiring knowledge and skills, applying it, and improving their performance was like, this is interesting because we can
Hmm.
actually help people improve their performance. So that's how I ended up kind of going into training, because I'd had that experience with Bank ABC in Zimbabwe, where I started from.
Hmm.
Then after that, it became really a combination of, a lot of challenges, seeing things, experiencing things. I remember the very first time I had my own coaching session, my mind was really blown away, because it was it was a small thing which had been causing me a lot of
Yeah.
discomfort and just causing my productivity, and sitting with somebody who just asked me questions to help me find my own answers, mind blowing. So Today there are quite a number of things that I've learned to, the path that I now take. My training goes back to, my very first job. My coaching, my one-on-one coaching with my clients was informed by my own experience of having somebody who could just, help me create clarity around what's going on. What do I want to create? What are the steps I can take to achieve the results that I want? Which is a big part of what I do with my one-on-one coaching, on the Thrive program. It really comes down to helping people create clarity, develop plans, and providing accountability for the times when the going gets tough, but just having somebody who you can come and talk to so that you don't begin to doubt yourself. But you just realize that it's part of the process. And now, like I mentioned earlier on, my work with teens, it was really triggered by my MBA program, which birthed a deeper passion for not just the individuals that I work with, but also supporting the
Mhm.
teams they lead and the organizations that they are part of. So it's a combination. It's a combination of experiences, light bulb moments, burdens, and just wanting to really help people to achieve their goals and live the life that they really, really want to, because they already have the capacity and the resources to do so.
Okay, well, that was really well said. It doesn't surprise me that you were on the front page of the Toastmasters magazine in the past.
That was my
Yeah, really
very
cool.
first magazine cover, and I couldn't have asked for a better fit. Toastmasters and personal
Yeah,
development.
yeah. See,
Very high concept.
cover girl. Okay, so right. So how are you then? You already told us a little bit about that, of course, but let's just put it in a few sentences. How are you making an impact through your spark?
So now it's a lot more around helping high performing professionals
Mhm.
to be intentional in applying effort and resources in the other areas of their life.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure you might have seen, Regina, the trend is around that a lot of high performing young professionals, like a lot of people in the C suite or, thriving in their professions,
Mhm.
the other areas of their life tend to be a mess. No offense, but like they tend to be like their
Yeah.
health might not be as great as they want it to be. Their
Mhm.
finances might not be as great as they want it to be. So I firstly, in through my one-on-one coaching, I help high-performing young professionals to create results in other areas of their life.
Mhm.
Then through the Training Leaders Consortium, we are working here in Zambia. We are providing trainings to around teams. So for teams, we do team alignment, team development, and team bonding to
Yeah.
cultivate high performance. But we also offer management development for the managers in the organizations, and we also offer workforce development to train staff to take ownership. So it's sort of like we're creating a whole organization wide interventions to ensure that yes, we're training the team, but at their different levels, people also have the skills and the tools to be able to do what it is that they want. So
Yeah.
mostly training, coaching, consulting, all towards high performance.
Yeah, very similar to what I do. So it's really awesome, just in a different way, which is always really the beauty of it, right? Because we all
Yeah,
have our own spark. We do it in our own way, and
right.
we are all unique because of that need in the world. Unique needs. Yes. So I love what you're saying about the team bonding and team alignment. So team alignment is, of course, also created through what I mentioned earlier, humanizing the workplace, really building
Yeah,
trust. Trust is a basis for everything, for productivity, for creativity, right? You know how it works.
yeah.
Yes. So that's wonderful to hear. I'm so impressed and I'm so happy that we're talking today and that you could make the time. Taffy, where can people find you apart from your LinkedIn profile? And just say the complete name again as well so that they have that.
Okay. So the full name is Tafadzwa Bete Sasa.
Mhm.
Uh, Besides LinkedIn, you can check out my TED Talk on YouTube. I delivered a
Mhm.
TED Talk called Accountability is a Love Language. You can find me on various social media platforms. If you just search for Tafadzwa Bete Sasa, my name does come up, and I do share a lot of thoughts, ideas around how do we remain productive on a day-to-day basis, but how do
Mhm.
we also live presently in the lives that we've already created for ourselves?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's so important. We cannot forget about that because otherwise life becomes dull, right? It becomes
Yeah.
just an empty routine. And even though we might still make an impact and a difference, is not as satisfying if we don't know how to really also enjoy it. Yes. So it's a combination. It's a complete package that you talk about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Thank you so much, Taffy, for sharing your spark with us all today. It's been such a pleasure to reconnect, and we definitely talk more after we go offline here. So before we close out this show today, I'd like to quickly share my spark. As a multicultural transformational leadership coach and inspirational speaker, I help mid tier women employees achieve their next career goal through coaching so they can fulfill their potential and increase their income, influence, and income. And impact. Sorry, it's still early here. Not enough coffee yet. And impact. Yes, here we go. Uh, and um, and I also, of course, work with teams and especially also in leadership trainings. Humanizing the workplace is a concept that I mentioned earlier. It has a lot to do with trust building. I do all of these other beautiful things as well. Now, thanks again, Taffy, and to everybody watching. As always, we trust this show has inspired you to uncover and express your spark fully and fulfill your potential in this way. And please do click on like and share your thoughts in the comments, your questions. Also, feel free to share the show, whether it's here on LinkedIn or on YouTube, where I'm going to post it shortly as well. And on YouTube, you can also find all the previous 17 episodes with other women all over the world. Last but not least, sign up for updates and free resources and more. Just go to followregina.com. That's my connection website, followregina.com. There you'll also find a link to my main website, transformyourperformance.com. But on followregina.com, you can sign up for a free Career Accelerator mini course, or if you prefer, just for my mailing list to receive updates. Next week, I'm again traveling on Tuesday, so I'm not going to be here with you, but the following Tuesday, I'll also actually be at an event. So I'll see you only on December 9th, the Thursday of that week. And then I'll be chatting with Bambir Kaur from India. As I said, we're truly traveling the world here, hopping from continent to continent. And that's who we are, right, Taffy? And I know you've traveled a lot too, and we both look forward to traveling much more. And I cannot wait to be on your continent again. I have to tell you all about all my travels there since we met, because it has been a lot. So, and of course, a lot was canceled last year, but
Oh,
but still, it's going to be picked up again and resumed. And yeah, here we go.
awesome. Thanks a lot for having me, Regina, and all the best with your travels.
Thank you so much, and same to you. And we'll chat a little bit more.